Hey guys, it's Alex from 7th Hour Films, back again with Merlin. Last time on Merlin, we had The Darkest Hour Part 2. Let's see. Merlin actually survived his run-in with a Duraka, and he and Lancelot journeyed back to the Isle of the Blessed to meet up with Arthur, who was willing to lay down his life for Camelot. But Merlin was going to sacrifice himself, and then Lancelot sacrificed himself. So yeah, Lancelot is dead, the spirit world has closed again, and Morgana is pissed. She is now ready to completely and utterly destroy whoever this Emrys is. And so, Agravain, the uncle who is also working for Morgana, was asking around with Gaius, like, hey, have you ever heard of Emrys? And Gaius was like, no. So he left, and then Merlin was like, and Gaius was like, yeah, right. So they know that Agravain is evil. So yeah, that is pretty much that. So we might as well pop right into this episode of Merlin. And I almost forgot, the only way that you can watch my reaction to this episode of Merlin, head down in the description or the pinned comment. It's the same link, and that will take you over to my reaction. It's just one click away, and you can watch it. It's just like a normal reaction. When you're done with that video, you can pop right back over to this YouTube video for the discussion. So we should go ahead and get right into this episode of Merlin for real this time. Here we go. Long live the king! Long live the king. Of course, anytime I hear long live the king, I start thinking of the Lion King. It's like when I just hear long live the king, I think of Scar, and then when I think of, you know, an entire crowd of people chanting long live the king, I think of Be Prepared, but still, long live the king! It took 3 seasons and 3 episodes, but Arthur is king. We have just witnessed the ascension of King Arthur. We lost. We flat out lost this episode. We lost. Uther is dead, and there's no 2 ways around that. And they didn't try to find 2 ways around that. I can't believe that the circus killed him. Uther Pendragon, how did he die? The circus! And, okay, you know, and yeah, I know, I'm joking about, oh, the circus killed him. Yes, let us be fair, it is Morgana. Morgana did actually kill Uther, but still, the circus is what led to this. Oh my gosh. Phil Davis. Okay, that's what I want to look up. So I'm looking up the circus guy that killed him. I'm gonna look him up. So because he is familiar. Season 4, Episode 3, The Wicked Day. Jeez. Let me zoom in so I can see this. All right. Okay, let me look at this guy. Because I've seen him before, I just don't know in what. Hang on, my eyes are killing me. Okay. So. Merlin, in one episode of Merlin. Oh, he was in the fires of Pompeii. That was it. Okay. That's what it was. And then the guy that played... Okay, never mind. I was gonna say the guy that played like his little lackey looked familiar, but no. Doesn't look like it. No, okay. Oh, boy. Like, you'd figure that would be a finale, you know? You'd figure that would be... This would be a finale, you know? The death of Uther Pendragon and the ascension of King Arthur. You know what else I wonder? Like, what went through Arthur's mind during that night? You know? I mean, this is insane. I never would have expected in the third episode. The third episode. We're supposed to have a tournament. Is this why they did a second tournament in season 3? Because after... That's the thing is, after our premiere episodes, we're supposed to have a tournament. But instead, Uther is dead. He's just dead. And look, you know, you'd almost be forgiven for thinking that, you know, oh, we won in the end. But we didn't. You know, it's like, this is a big moment. We saw Arthur ascend to the throne, you know? But we saw Arthur ascend to the throne. He is King Arthur now. He's no longer the prince, he's the king. The legendary King Arthur. But we did lose. We did lose. We lost. Morgana won. Morgana actually won. Uther is dead. But you'd almost be forgiven for forgetting that. Because King Arthur. Arthur has ascended to the throne. And we also lost in the fact that, you know, Arthur's heart is, well, presumably has hardened to magic. I guess he and Gwen can get married now. Think about... Well, I mean, I guess think about everything that has happened, you know? Everything that can happen now that Arthur is king. At this point, it's honestly just he can marry Gwen. Magic is not going to be accepted right now because of everything. Magic won't be accepted at the moment because of what happened. He already knighted the Knights of the Round Table, so they're already good. There's... Honestly, the only thing that's like, oh, well, this can now happen now that Uther is dead is he can marry Gwen. Gwen can become queen. Which, at that point, that's pretty good. Because, you know, the whole thing of, oh, well, Arthur will be he's broken and he will seek counsel from his uncle and stuff and I will make sure he fails. It's like, fucking, yeah, he's also gonna get counsel from Merlin and Guinevere and Gaius and his knights. I don't know how many of them are really gonna help. You don't have Lancelot anymore. Are we gonna lose someone every episode, by the way? Is this gonna be a thing? Because first episode, we left on the cliffhanger that, oh, it looks like Merlin died. Which is close enough. Yes, he survived, but close enough. Episode 2, Lancelot dies. Episode 3, Uther dies. Is this going to be a thing this season? Is someone going to die every episode? I swear if I have to watch Gaius die, I am going to cry. Ugh. I was getting a little emotional anyway, and it was Uther. I was getting emotional for Uther, you know? And okay, I guess we should be honest, I was getting emotional for Arthur for Uther. Like, that's the thing. It's not that, oh, I gotta watch this old man die. It's that, no, I have to watch this guy lose his father, you know? I can't believe... And episode 3, that's the thing. That's the thing. Man, Merlin's gonna have to work overtime in order to get Arthur to accept magic. But now we have the long-awaited reign of King Arthur. We should pop into the notes. The first thing I wrote down is Arthur's birthday. So, I mean, that was kind of fun, you know. Oh, hey, it's Arthur's birthday. We brought the circus in to celebrate. You know? We brought the circus in to celebrate and stuff. And it was like, okay, well, this could be kind of cool, you know? And I did like that this was the first time, this season at least, that we saw Uther actually, like, want to, like, get up and do something, you know? Because that was actually kind of the interesting thing is that, you know, Uther, he's been so distraught about everything with Morgana, you know? Like, everything that happened with Morgana, he's been so distraught for over a year now. And then, but the one thing that can sort of bring him out of it is Arthur. That I do like. I do like that. That the one thing that will kind of bring him out of his trance, basically, is Arthur. I did like that. So that was cool. I wrote down the knife throwing. Again, kind of a silly episode to start off with. And then it gets, like, super serious. You know? Which is very interesting, but yeah, the knife throwing. Which, that's the thing, it's like, okay, you're really gonna throw knives at the prince? Come on. And I like, too, because Arthur clearly didn't want to do that, but... Arthur clearly didn't want to do that, but I like him saying, like, you know, oh, it's a challenge. I can't back down from a challenge. Good or bad, if you're challenged to a duel, you can't say no. Sorry, that's a Yu-Gi-Oh! GX reference. Probably none of you understood that. Although it does technically apply here, so. But yeah, he was challenged, therefore he did it. So that was kind of funny. Just him on the wheel. He's got the apple in his mouth and they're spinning him and throwing knives. So that was funny. And I like too because it seemed like, okay, well, Merlin, you know, made sure that the knife hit the apple and nothing else. And it's like, but that was part of the plan, was to hit the apple, which would release a sedative. So that was pretty interesting. And then, yeah, you know, release a sedative, and then kill Uther. Which, that's the thing. The two of them did still put up a good fight, you know? Arthur, as drowsy as he was, and Uther kind of being out of practice and, you know, not at 100%, the two of them still put up a pretty good fight, all things considered. So yeah, I mean, that was actually, like, pretty cool that they put up a good fight, too, you know? And Uther did get one last good fight, honestly. And I like, again, that's, you know, Uther will come out of his trance for his son, you know? To save his son. So I did like that, you know? I also wrote down prepare. So this was an interesting thing, is that, you know, it's like, okay, I was kind of thinking, like, okay, so what are we going to do this episode? Do we have Arthur prepare for the worst? Or are we going to have where, like, okay, well, oh, they do save Uther, and then, you know, Arthur thinks that magic is alright. You know, maybe things can change and stuff. And I was thinking, like, I was sitting here thinking, like, okay, well, I would assume that they would go for the route that saves Uther's life. But at the same time, it's like, well, okay, but that would still be a pretty major change, too, if Arthur then accepts magic at that point. And so that was actually, like, it caught me off guard. It's like, I don't know which they would do. I was still leaning towards they were going to save Uther, but I really just didn't know. Which makes the twist, honestly, that much better, you know? Makes the twist that much better. So, yeah. But I did, like, you know, prepare for the worst. Because this, I mean, this is not their first go-around of Uther dying, you know? They've had plenty of instances where Uther was going to die, and he pulled through. So, you know, Arthur has always had hope. But yeah, it's like, yeah, you gotta prepare for the worst. Because the worst can happen, as we saw in this episode. So, oh man. I wrote down magic and change. Yeah, that could have been the other big outcome, is that they save Uther, but magic becomes accepted in Camelot. Wouldn't that be crazy? Again, these are pretty big changes, you know, where it's like, okay, there has to be something. Like, I was thinking, okay, there has to be some way that Uther will survive and nothing will change for magic. Well, I was half right. So, oh man. So that was pretty crazy. Just like, either way, it's like, could be a big change for the show, but I'm sitting here thinking, it's episode 3. Are they really going to do a big change for the show in episode 3? Fuck yeah, they will, apparently. Jeez. I wrote down Dragoon. Dragoon! You know what I love? Again, and I said this multiple times in the reaction. Again, because you can tell Colin Morgan is yucking it up as Old Man Merlin. I love, too, that you can easily tell Merlin is yucking it up as Old Man Merlin, you know? Like, that's the thing, is that both the actor and the character are soaking up all the fun of being Old Man Merlin. I really did enjoy that. So, that was really cool, just that whole conversation, you know? I did like, though, whenever, you know, Dragoon got really serious, like, hopefully you can start to see me in a different light. You know, like, when he got serious, I was kind of like, oh, man, Old Man Merlin. So, I like that, too, that he would still get serious with that, you know? shouldn't Morgana recognize Emrys, technically? Because she was there when, you know, Dragoon was brought in, you know? So, technically, like, wouldn't... Because she had the vision, and it's like, oh, old man Merlin, but she didn't know it was Merlin. She just heard Emrys. So, shouldn't she know that Dragoon is Emrys? Like, shouldn't she connect the dots there, at least? Like, it doesn't connect the dots back to Merlin, but it does... She should be able to recognize Dragoon as being Emrys, technically. I don't know. Interesting thought. But yeah, I did love that whole scene in the cabin. That cabin's getting a lot of use, you know? Merlin and Lancelot were there last episode, and now he's there again, so that's pretty good. Feel bad for the guy that died in there to the Duraka. So, I wrote down the charm. God damn it, this fucking charm. First off, goddamn, Morgana has gotten so much more proficient at magic. It makes me wonder, honestly, is she better than Merlin at this point? Because she might be, because she has had to, like, it's almost like her skills are now, like, magic survival skills now. It's like they almost seem like, I would assume that they're a lot stronger than Merlin is now. So, maybe. But yeah, that fucking charm. You know, it's one of those things where it's like, okay, you know, first, you could not see the charm around his neck, so I don't know where the hell, you know, Uncle Douchebag, you know, hid the charm on his neck. But neither of them noticed that. Neither of them saw the charm. But I do like that that pretty much immediately afterward, Gaius found the charm and was like, hey, this thing has been enchanted, you know? And they both realized it was Morgana. But they couldn't do shit because he's just dead. Uther is dead. He just died. He didn't stand a chance. And that's the thing, is that, you know, normally on this show, it's like, oh, well, even if something really bad happens, we always find a way to come back at the end, you know? We always figure out a way for everything to go back to the way it was, you know, the status quo. That status quo has just been curb stomped. Like, seriously. Like, fuck your status quo. It is gone. Status quo be damned, you know? That's the thing. Uther Pendragon is dead. So, that is pretty crazy. Uther is dead. It didn't work, and there's no getting out of it. There's no getting... You can't bring him back. That's it. Uther is dead. Long live King Arthur. But, real quick, I also wanted to mention... So, you know, they gave him the night to mourn, you know? And then the next day, he came out and was talking to Merlin. But he wasn't, like, you know, broken, honestly. You know? I wouldn't say, like, oh, he's back to the way he was. No, I wouldn't say that. But, you know, first off, I do like, you know, because Merlin says, like, I didn't want you to feel like you were alone during the night. And Arthur says, like, all right, you are a loyal friend. Like, all right. The friendship, they finally really acknowledge, like, that's the first time they've really acknowledged their friendship, you know? But that's the thing, when he came out of there and he just says, like, Merlin, it's a new day. Let's go. You know, it's one of those things where it's like, basically, overnight he has accepted everything. He has accepted what's happened. You know, I don't think, if anything, I honestly don't know if he's going to be like that. I don't know if he's going to be like that broken, you know, because that's the thing, is Agravain being like, oh, well, he will be broken, and, you know, he'll seek my counsel, I'll make sure that he fails. Like, first off, fuck you, Agravain. I understand the whole thing of Uther. I don't understand going after Arthur, other than, you know, he's loyal to Morgana. Which, motherfucker, you're not getting anything out of Morgana, you know? Like, what does he get from Morgana? Like, like, does he get benefits from this partnership? You know? I don't know. He's too old. He's definitely too old and way too out of her league. So, or she's too out of his league. I guess that's it. Yeah, because the other way around sounds like he's way too good for her. But I guess it's more like, well, he's out of her league. As in, he's so far below her league that it's pathetic. So I guess it's more she's way too out of his league is the technical phrase. But you understand what I mean. So, yeah. But still, it's like, what does he gain from this by putting Morgana on the throne? What does he gain by double-crossing his sister's son, you know? Like, I get everything going against Uther because of what happened with his sister, the queen, but going against her son? I don't get that. So, whatever. But yeah, it's like, honestly, I don't know how broken Arthur's really gonna be, you know? Now, will he seek counsel? Yes, but that's the thing. I'm pretty sure he's going to be also seeking counsel from Merlin, from Gaius, from Guinevere, you know? So, I don't know how much Agravain can really do. We'll have to see, though. But yeah, and at the end, we get the crowning of King Arthur. And honestly, it's so weird. We lost. We lost this episode. We honestly lost. Uther is dead. Long live King Arthur. And that is insane that this happened. I did not expect that to happen right now. Like, I would have expected that in a finale. Nope. Episode 3, we did that. Holy crap. This is shaping up to be an incredible, insane season of Merlin. And I am right here for it. So, yeah. But that's pretty much it. With all that being said, I'm Alex from 7th Hour Films, and I will see you guys next time. Long live the king. Alright guys, thanks for watching this video. If you want to watch more of my Merlin reactions, you can click on the playlist, you can subscribe if you haven't done that already, and be sure you hit that notification bell. You can support me on Patreon and follow me on social media, links below in the description. See you guys later.